Hello, everyone. This is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today for another political tarot reading. For this reading, I'm going to focus on how Donald Trump's presidential administration could potentially affect the Black community over the next 4 to 6 years. I'll be looking at the challenges, opportunities, and the outcomes of the Donald Trump administration for the next 4 years, 4 to 6 years, and how it will affect the Black community. Okay, so spirit guides, I'm gonna choose the planet first. Spirit guides, how will Donald Trump's presidency affect the Black American community over the next 4 to 6 years? Mars. Well, Mars. Mars is a planet of war, competition, fighting, industry. Now, Mars is not always a bad thing, but it is a malefic. And again, Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, which is business. So we'll see what role Mars is playing for the Black community over the next 4 to 6 years. Mars and Cancer is debilitation. Okay, so there could be wars on the homeland. There could be a potential civil war here. Mars and Cancer could represent, like, again, nationalistic warfare, tribal warfare, culture wars. I need some more information, please. How will Donald Trump's presidency affect the Black community over the next 4 to 6 years? The 10th house, careers, social status, reputation. So Mars and Cancer in the 10th house, that means that the ascendant is Libra, and Libra represents law and justice. Mars in the 10th. This is not necessarily a bad placement, because I think his administration will force Black people to be more competitive when it comes to their careers and social status. There's a spirit of competition here. So we'll see what the other cards say. But Mars is, you guys are going to have to fight for your careers. You're going to have to fight for your country. There could be some sort of civil war or a war in general, some sort of international war. I don't want to say World War III, but there's some fighting, competition for resources, competition for jobs. We're going to have to step our game up collectively, which I don't think is a bad thing, to be honest. All right, spirit guides, I need you to align with the energy of Donald Trump and his effect on the Black American community over the next 4 to 6 years. I need one card for challenges. What challenges will the Black community face during the Trump administration? What opportunities will the Black community have during the Trump administration? And what will be the outcomes of Donald Trump's administration on the Black community over the next 4 to 6 years? I need 3 cards in succession. One for challenges, one for opportunities, and one for the outcome. Make sure this is the right way. Okay, here we are. Challenges. 3 of Cups. 6 of Cups. Reminiscing about the good old days. Opportunities. Hangman. 2 of Pentacles. The outcomes. 9 of Wands. Yeah, this is Mars energy. And the Hermit card. So, yeah, the challenge is the 3 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. Wishing for what could have been. What coulda, shoulda, would have been. There's a lack of, it's almost like there's a disconnection from reality. So instead of the Black community fully embracing his presidency, they're thinking about the next election. So the challenge is like you guys aren't really grounded here. You're thinking about what could have been, how things used to be, what you wish things were. And this is Cancer energy. We did see Mars in Cancer at the beginning. You have the Hangman and the Hermit. The Hangman is about gaining a new perspective about your financial situation. The Black community has to learn how to be more self-sufficient during this time period. And you should have been doing that for the past 60 years. Other communities come here and they try to become self-sufficient. You're going to be reminiscing about the good old days when you did not have to worry about being self-sufficient, when you had some sort of stability or some guarantee economically. I think this will be a collective issue because the economy is going to suffer due to automation, and they're restructuring the economy because a lot of people aren't having any children, and now we have automation and AI, which will negatively affect the tax base or tax revenue. So there won't be as much money to go around. Two of Pentacles. So you guys are going to figure out how to hustle and make more money, or like become more self-sufficient. The Nine of Wands and the Hermit card, you're ready to fight. So you go from like reminiscing and wishing things were differently to taking action and fighting to protect your communities, your homes, your businesses, your resources. There's a competition for resources. Mars in the 10th house. So like whatever was secure is no longer secure. The Two of Pentacles. But there's an opportunity here if you guys seize the moment and don't keep wondering about the past, what could have been, what should have been. This kind of reminds me of the Star card. The Six of Cups, the past, right? The past 20, 30, 40, 60 years, reminiscing about how easy it was to get a job working for the government or to get a job working for a major corporation. They're about to shut that down. I think for everybody. And then that's going to cause a lot of financial and economic instability, which will force you to build your own institutions and businesses. So you go from a position of like being helpless or being like, I would say indolent, inactive. Now you're active. You're aware. Sag energy. You're politically aware of what's going on, and you're getting active. You're trying to build from scratch. You see how this Nine of Wands, this little fence here is kind of raggedy. A lot of you guys are going to lose money or like financial stability. But I don't think it's just you guys. It's everybody. I'm going to find out, but it's going to be everybody because they have to restructure the economy. So it's not a racial thing. You're going to have to compete for resources. Mars in the 10th house in Cancer. They're like, so Cancer again represents like the culture, the land, ancestry. This is like traditional values. Getting back to the traditional values of taking care of your own. And we haven't been used to that for a very long time. A lot of us have like coasted. And so we have very low expectations for ourselves in our communities. And we're realizing this. Hangman and Two of Pentacles. We got to change things. And now we're going to stand up and fight for ourselves, our children, our communities, our resources. We're going to fight to be self-sufficient. She's by herself. You're standing alone now. You're building your own from scratch. Because a lot of this, whatever you've been relying on, is going to be taken away from you to an extent. Hangman. Hanging in the balance, not knowing where you stand financially or economically. Economic instability, Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy here. And Pluto's in Capricorn. This is going to affect everybody, I think. We'll find out what the other races. I'm going to do the white race, the white Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans over the next 4 to 6 years for Donald Trump. Okay. I should do it in the same reading. I'll do it in the same reading. Clarify the Three of Cups and the Six of Cups, please. Yep. Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Death card in reverse. Yep. Holding on to the past. Not working with him because you want him gone. We go from 3 to 2. So your inability to work with him because you're still holding on to the past and reminiscing about the way things were is going to put you in a Two of Pentacles position. And you'll realize that, wow, we're shooting ourselves in the foot here. Let's work with him. Let's try to rebuild. Nine of Wands. Let's fight for our right to be here. Let's fight for our resources. Let's fight for jobs. Let's build on our own. And this is like somebody who's, you know, you guys don't have as many resources, but you are making the effort finally to be self-sufficient after a long time, many decades of relying on like the government for education and housing and jobs and food production. Like the whole system is being destroyed from within because they have to restructure it for technology, AI and automation. Clarify the Hangman, Devil card, Page of Wands, Four of Wands, Strength card. The Devil represents like obsessions and temptations and being bound and tied or restricted in some way. You're going to have to hold on to, like, you're fighting for property or resources. You guys need an attitude adjustment. You got to change your goals. Page of Wands is like you got to set new goals and new targets. But like you're being held back by wishing things were different, by reminiscing about the past. So what you got to move, you guys have to move forward. Sagittarius is about progress and moving forward. It's a fire energy. It represents the 9th house of politics, long distance travel, the law, foreign affairs, right? So you're like changing your political ideologies and you're getting back to the roots. You're remembering where you came from and who you were. You guys, some of you guys forgot. The Black community forgot how they got to where they are. They lost their values or something. Lost their values, lost their principles in many ways, and you're reconnecting to them. They're going from, man, I wish things were different, to like, wow, I remember when we used to fight, or we used to have our own, and we used to build, and you're being forced to do that again. You got to set new goals and targets for yourselves. The Four of Wands represents like home and building and strengthening your community. Strengthening your community. You're realizing that you must do this. But what's holding you back is like this toxic connection to the past. This inability to be in reality. This is Pisces energy. Like it's almost like a illusion or some sort of spell that you're bound to. This is like spellbound, energetically, consciously, like having no vision for the future because you're so focused on the past and what was. And it's keeping you locked into a certain paradigm of like economic instability, economic independence on the government, low expectations, poor work ethic. You're going to have to fight for what you want, your position in society. You must do this, collective of Black Americans. You must clap out a 9 of Wands, please, and the Hermit. The 9 of Wands and the Hermit. Oh, I should have done one of these first. Damn it. But I'll do one later. 9 of Wands and the Hermit, please. 9 of Wands and the Hermit. For the collective of Black Americans during the Trump administration. The Fool card, Ace of Wands. Yes. This is Aries energy. It's also Uranian energy. The Ace of Wands is making a connection with the 9 of Wands. 10 of Wands, burden, doing the work. But this could be like, okay. You guys could have gone from being a bit irresponsible and reckless, not having any responsibilities, no baggage, I do what I want, I'm free, to now taking on a different approach and realizing, wow, I really have to get on my A game and fight for my position in this country and my right to have a certain quality of life. I got to fight for these resources. I got to build within my own community. 4 of Wands, my own family. So you may have been realizing it was kind of foolish to live this way. The Fool card. And you're taking a leap of faith on yourself too, and you're like developing ingenious ways of rebuilding with the resources that you have, because they're kind of limited. Judgment card. Yeah, you guys are going to have to account for decades of dependence on the government. You're going to have to rebuild, and it's not just you guys. The whole system is collapsing. So there's going to be some wealthy people who benefit, yeah, because they have spent decades building up their wealth. We haven't done that. We're very codependent on the government for many things, for education, schools, job, businesses, housing, everything. We're now trying to rebuild, and I don't see many pentacles here. It's like we're not going to have access to much money. We're going to have to be resourceful. Nine of Wands, very resourceful with what we have available to us now. Like fighting for your land, Mars in Cancer, fighting for your homes, your families. Being self-sufficient. Mars in the 10th is very competitive. I think his presidency will re-spark our competitive spirits, and we'll reconnect with our past in a more productive way. So instead of reminiscing about what was, like when things were easier, we'll look back to our ancestors and get inspiration from them, because they went through much worse than we did, and they built a whole lot more than we have with much less resources. We're going to go back to them. We're going to reminisce about not just the past 60 years, but what happened 120 years ago, right? What happened when we built these HBCUs and we had Black Wall Street. And these people built these communities and these institutions with little to no money. So we're going to go back to that again. I'm going to go back to that. Spirit guys, I need some insight about how Donald Trump's presidency will affect the Black American community over the next 4 to 6 years. Yeah, don't look to anybody to save you guys. There's going to be some protection. I believe you'll be protected to some extent, but don't look for anybody to save you from yourself. You must do this on your own. Use whatever resources the government has available to invest in your communities, but a lot of you guys are going to have to put the pedal to the metal and like rebuild these communities on your own and defend them too. You're gonna have to fight for your place in this society, because everybody else wants your lunch. Like, people want to be where you are, and I don't think Black Americans appreciate that. You have people coming in who want to replace you, and we've lost sight of that. So we're going to become aware of that and start to get more active, because somebody wants to eat our lunch. Well, these people want to eat our lunch. King of Water, King of Cups, Scorpio energy. This is Mars energy. Magician. Gemini, Mars. Donald Trump is a Gemini. You have Scorpio and Gemini energy. What's the water sign in general? But this is typically a Scorpio. And we see Neptune being here, right? Even though in a traditional Rider-Waite, this is a Scorpio card, we have Poseidon. This is Pisces energy. You see the trident in the background? Neptune. You guys are breaking out of some spell. I said it's spell work. You guys are breaking out of some sort of spell or delusion about your place in society, your value, your resources, what you're supposed to do. There's some like wishful thinking about what you wish things were like, or just some delusions about, or fantasies about the past and the way things used to be. You're trying to escape back into the past, or use. Hopefully you guys won't fall into the trap of like drug addiction to try to escape from reality. But you guys also have to be careful not to fall victim to magic also, because, okay, certain people will start to see you guys making progress, and they'll try to cause interference through some form of deception. You must be able to see through that too. You must be able to see through their deception, or they're like some people are going to try to make you guys forget or complacent or content. Yeah. Okay. Some people are going to try to make you guys feel safe, like there's nothing wrong, like you shouldn't change anything, and everything is all good, and just, wait for them to get. No, you guys must live in reality. Ace of Wands. You have to live in reality. You cannot allow the past or hidden enemies to put you in a trick bag and have you waiting for someone to save you. You got to get active now. And once you start getting active, some people will come along and try to interfere or cast doubts in your mind about what you're trying to do. That's why the Nine of Wands is here. It's like, okay, so there's going to be infighting potentially and external obstacles. The infighting is going to come from certain people. I'm going to clarify where this is coming from, but I suspect that there's certain people that benefit from Black people being dependent on the system that's going to try to confuse you and make you not invest in yourselves, because some people want you to stay at the bottom. Two of Pentacles, they want you to stay there. You can't fall for that. You cannot fall for that. Ace of Wands. You must, and you're going to you'll have internal fighting and external fighting. The internal fighting will be, people telling us to hold off or not work with Donald Trump, or to try to hold on to the old system, right? Don't worry, 4 years later, 4 years he'll be gone. Don't worry about building with your families and your communities. Wait for them to fix the system instead of you building your own system. It's going to be like some sort of internal civil war too within the Black community, because a lot of us are going to start seeing that we have to divest from the system, Nine of Wands, but there's people within our communities who don't want us to do that because they feed off of our poverty and our ignorance. And then there's external actors too who don't want us to compete for these resources. So we're going to fight on both ends. We got haters within the community trying to cock block us and stop us from building. Then we got haters outside of the community working with the haters in the community to keep us from making progress. This is like Neptune energy. Magician, manipulation, using your emotions against you, trying to keep you here in the age of Pisces, and we're in the age of Aquarius. Trying to keep you here, right? Being dependent, being passive, being codependent, narcissism, self-delusion, wishful thinking. Someone's going to try to keep you here. The Magician's here. And some of these people look like this. Is that an Ouroboros on his head? My eyes are really bad. I should be wearing my glasses. Some of these people look like this behind the scenes. If you know, you know. They look like this too. Some of these magi look like this. They're working behind the scenes to make sure you stay here, waiting for someone to save you. Hey man, you cannot do that. You must fight for your, what's the word I'm looking for? Fight for your self-determination. Fight to be self-sufficient. Some people don't want you to do that, and they'll try to lull you back to sleep, telling you to wait 4 more years. Just sit out, chill out. He's not going to be here forever. They want you to stay here and hoping and wishing and reminiscing about the past and wanting things to be different, but not really doing the work to change anything in your present. They want you to stay stuck. You cannot do that. You must not do that. You must build within your communities. You have to protect your homes, your families. And we see tents here. We don't want y'all living in tent cities. There's a fight for land and resources. Don't sell your property. And buy as much property as you can. That's Cancer energy. Mars in Cancer. Buy up as much property as you can. and rent it out to people who are within your community. Real talk. Everybody else does it, but you. Spirit guides, I need some more clarification. Workaholic. Yep, y'all gonna have to bust your ass. We're gonna have to work hard to protect what we're trying to build, because we have haters on the inside and the outside. I'm gonna find out what's going on with the Knight of Wands again. Hold on. Workaholic, I forgot to ask. Isolation. By ourselves, yo. We are on our own here. What is that? We're on our own here. Because everybody wants what we have. Or everybody wants to be in our spot. Or people want our lunch. Like, we're all competing for these resources. Y'all do not have the time or the luxury to sit back and wait for the government to take care of this for you. You don't have time to wait for another Democratic president. Absolutely not. It will be too late then. It's now Hunger Games, 9 of Wands. People coming in from different parts of the world. Corporations trying to take land. Listen. Buy up as much land as you can. Hold it. Don't sell. Pay the taxes on it. Put it in a trust. Or try to get a patent on it. So it can't be sold or stolen. Get more active politically. Learn the law. 9 of Wands. Sagittarius energy. It's time to get to work. One more, please. Isolation, workaholic. We got to do this on our own. We're not going to get no help. Nobody's going to help each other. Destiny. This was supposed to happen. It was always going to happen this way. Trump is not going to do anything that wasn't supposed to happen 60 years ago. You guys need to watch the movie The Wiz from the 1970s. They were showing you your potential future if you did not invest in yourselves. You must have the courage, 9 of Wands, to fight for your future, or else you'll end up like, Emerald City, partying and bullshit at night, and then there's a Wizard of Oz behind the scenes that you're worshiping, and he's not even who you thought he was. And the Wizard of Oz in this case is the government, the power structure. So after Richard Pryor was exposed for being a fraud, Emerald City looked like trash. The bubble was burst. They were telling you 50 years ago what was going to happen. And what did happen in Detroit? What did happen in Philadelphia? What happened in Newark and St. Louis? They told you this then. You're going to be in the same position. One more, please. This is so much fun. One more, please. I'm going to get some more clarifications for this. Guilt. Acceptance. Prayer. Yep. So this she's accepting her lot as so a lot of us had these delusions of grandeur, of this black girl magic, black excellence stuff. We're going to have to get our hands dirty and get back to the basics. All that flossing and stunning and try to, look down on people for what they have and what they don't have, or whatever the case may be. We're going to all have to get to work. We all have to get to work. There is no time for status games or for classism in our communities. We can't afford that now. Guilt about not doing better sooner, about not taking responsibility for our futures and depending on the government for jobs, housing, education, food, infrastructure, healthcare, everything. Prayer. This is us getting back to the basics, leaving the big cities, going back to the rural areas to rebuild, to buy up property and land and build our own homes and communities. A lot of us are going to migrate back into the rural areas, not to live like hobos in tent cities, but to rebuild what was stolen from us or burned down 100-something years ago. While I think Pluto was in Gemini. Spirit guys, I need some more insight, please, for the collective of Black Americans. Imagination. Yes. Draw from the well of your own capabilities. You must have a vision for your own future. Ace of Wands. You must be able to visualize the potential, Even though things may look a bit grim or dusty while the government shuts everything down, and it was going to happen anyway. Even though things may look a bit grim and dusty, you have to have enough faith in yourself to see the potential of what you can create and build if you use your ingenuity and your work ethic. You accept your fate. This is like living in reality. This is like Virgo energy, seeing things for what they are, not what you want them to be. Here's the reality. You're not what you thought you were, or your position in society isn't what you thought it was. Things are not as secure as you thought they were. Accept that. This was always going to happen, no matter who got elected. It's interesting that this bearded man looks like this bearded man. Destiny. Motherfuckers playing games behind the scenes and try to keep you in a trick bag, not investing in yourselves, in your communities, in your children, because they want you dependent on a system which will make you obsolete, and it's a form of genocide. If you're going to stay delusional and you're going to keep deceiving yourselves about the past and your position and what you need to do to survive in this country, there are people who are working to keep you stuck in the age of Pisces, so that energetically you don't connect with the age of Aquarius, so you're stuck in the past. There's a lot of dark magic happening too. Not just psychological warfare, but there are people working behind the scenes like keep you guys subdued, delusional, passive, indolent, depressed. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from drugs. Make friends. Friendship is the alchemy of success. The age of Aquarius. You got to work together. No more, I'm the first black this, independent black sister girl magic. You got to work with your community. Make friends. There's no other way it's going to happen. Four of Wands. There's no other way it's going to happen. You must work with your community. Within your community. Because again, everybody's competing for your resources. Your land. Everybody. So they're trying to take care of their own, and you're trying to be kumbaya with everybody else. Nope. You must take care of your own vine and fig tree. Take care of your children, your tribe, and your community. Because everybody else is doing that. Nine of Wands. And you must be aware of this. Do not fall for the democratic, okie dokie, BIPOC situation. Don't fall for that. That's a trick bag to keep you in the age of Pisces. Sacrificing yourself for everybody else. And that's not going to resonate with the age of Aquarius. Being objective, rational, hardworking, inventive, collaborating with others, establishing healthy networks and groups and associations. That kind of got cratered during the Pluto and Libra era. Sorry, not Libra. And Libra too. But the Pluto and Libra era from 1938 to 1958, because many boomers were only concerned about their own personal self-expression, their own needs, what they wanted, what they desired, what was best for them. So they didn't really care about the community anymore. That's the negative expression of Leo. Now we're in Aquarius, working together as a community, humbling yourselves, accepting your position. You're not a star. You're a regular old person like everybody else. You're not gods. You're not queens. You're human beings that must do the work to take care of your own families and your own children and your own communities. That's what must be done. So the gravy train is over for the black community at the very least. But this was already predicted many years ago. Spirit guides, more information for the collective of Black Americans. Ant spirit. What? And what do ants do? They work all day. They're workaholics. They work together. They have a hive mind. They don't have individual goals and aspirations. All they care about is building together. And they can't do it by themselves. They're too small. They must work together. Wombat spirit. Be at home. Meaning Cancer energy. Focus on your home and your family and your community. Now, instead of being known for being twerkers and rappers and whatever, you're getting back to traditional conservative values. That's Cancer energy. You're reconnecting with that. You're fighting for your history, your culture, your tradition, your place on this country. Wombat spirit, be at home. Turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace. Buffalo spirit, yeah, this is, listen, a lot of you guys don't know, but most of us are Native Americans. I know my family is. The abundant universe will provide. Pig spirit, use your mind wisely, not your emotions. Because if you use your mind in the age of Aquarius, then you're going to create abundance for yourself. You're going to become inventive and resourceful. Sandpaper spirit, be playful. Have fun with it. Have fun with the competition. Don't be afraid of the competition either. Thanksgiving. A lot of us are we're going to reconnect to our Native American heritage or something like that. That's what's up. All right, so that's it for the Black community. Now let's get into the white community. You know what? I'm going to do the white community in another video, separate video, okay? Stay tuned for that. Thank you for listening. I look forward to reading your feedback. If you want to order a personal reading, the link is in my description box. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.